Hello everybody, welcome to episode 13 of Setting the Scene. Now this is the setting the scene to the second part of the mini campaign between Boris and I, Fall of the Ayenbite. As you would have seen in the first episode, that paid 1,000 points on a 4x4. Falchion was on this side of the board. The Imperial Fists were taking up residence in the building on this side. And luckily it was a draw. What an amazing game it was. You know, who'd have thought that even with a D cannon, two D shots on the side of the word bearers, that the Imperial Fist would pull a draw. So really great, fast, entertaining game. So Boris and I really enjoyed that. And now we're going to bump the points up to 500. Up 500 points to 1,500. And we're going to go on for a full 6x4. Now, we're still keeping it in the city, but we want to just move the location on a little bit. But what I am going to do is I am going to keep the original map that we've got here, but I'm just going to split it into two and put two tiles in the middle. So the board will be fairly familiar, but it will play really, really differently. Mainly because of the two elements which I'm going to add, but also because I think we're playing Vanguard Strike in this one. I can't quite remember, but I think it's Vanguard Strike. So you know, this board build will be really, really quick, which for me is great because I'm really, really busy at the moment painting Zone Mortalis and some other stuff. So it's not too hard. Now, when I built this board, I was very sparing when I used the aggregate and the slate, which has actually done me a favour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these boards apart with a bit of luck. I'm just going to slide these ones all the way to the edge. And then just push this one over, like so. Now, we all know that the Forge World boards aren't quite 2 foot square, so there is a gap. So I always have to remember which way I push the tiles so they butt up to each other quite nicely. So it looks like I've got to push them this way, which I'll do very quickly. There we go. It's not usually a problem if you're at home, but obviously I've built this board with a perimeter around it. So at the end of here, there's about a 2 or a 1 centimeter gap between this kind of leading edge and then the side of the board. But you know, it's okay. It's no major. Just when you deploy, we have to deploy from the inside of the line. Anyway, I'm going to use the landing pad. I absolutely love this board. It is so cool. So that's going to go there. And again, we've got a big gap here, so I'm going to have to push this board up against there. And then finally, we are going to use the warehouse. I love coupling the warehouse with the landing pad because the two kind of make sense to me. You know. But then we say it's a warehouse, it's probably not a warehouse. It looks more like, you know, with all these generators, it's probably a power generator for the city. But I do like the idea the two kind of go together. It just looks really cool. So all I got to do is just butt these tiles up. There is a bit of a gap difference. The board that I build the boards on has warped because I've used sand and rock and stuff. So I need to pull that off, put a flatter one down and put some more reinforcing battens on the bottom. But, you know, that's it's a job for another time. There's so much to do here. It's unbelievable. All right, so that's essentially our board. I am going to heavily populate this section with some cranes, some silos. I'm going to use more crates in this one this time as well. I am going to attempt to try and fluff the edges ever so slightly using the same method with the rocks and the rubble, but we might try and bleed over with some containers or something. I'm not quite sure, but it's not ideal if I'm perfectly honest with you. The other thing I could do is I could get some kitchen tiles and just prop up this side, these tiles a bit more so they're a bit more level. I know it's not ideal, but we've got to do what we've got to do, unfortunately. I'm just going to go away now, grab some extra elements to put on the board, and I'll come back to you. Right, I'm back with some stuff. First things first, I dig it out at the bottom. It's going to go with the crane. The crane fits beautifully on the end there and looks like it's interacting with this board. But also as well, when you've got infantry or dreadnoughts running into there, it just adds a little bit of extra 3D dimension, which I really love. Now, what I have done is I've set up a camera because obviously you can see right across the board, you know, you do get a bit of height. It's about 1.5 inches height from the floor to the top of this, I can't remember what it's called, the landing pad, we'll call it the landing pad. But you know, we're probably going to have 1 or 2 tanks in this game, because the games are primarily quite infantry heavy, but we're going to slowly introduce tanks, and then the final sort of 2.5k will be quite tank heavy. So we're kind of building up in a bit of an escalation, but there will be a ton of infantry in this game, and we want to get the infantry up close and get some combats happening as well, like we did in the previous game. So to that end, I'm just going to populate this board as much as possible to kind of shield units coming from either side. So, you know, that I keep calling it the warehouse, but it's probably a power generator. You know, that generator. Well, it's not a generator because the generator is the curved one. I have no idea what to call that. I'm going to call it a warehouse. All right, I'm glad we got that out of the way. So the warehouse is really great for fighting over. It's quite unique, and the landing pad can be really cool to fight over as well. So I'm just going to rack these up in a reasonable or ordered fashion. I've got another green one here, which I might use there. And then I'm just going to use these silos. They're just fantastic line of sight blockers. I'm missing the bit in the top there, but hopefully I can find that in the next day or so before Boris and I battle it out. I do have an Arvus lighter, which it's been in my to paint list for probably 1.5 years, nearly 2 years now, and I really do need to get on with that. But you know. So much to paint, it's so unreal. Anyway, now we've not got Jeremy today because little Jeremy's the blue smaller tractor, so we've got this little red one, so I don't know what we'll call him. Jeffrey, who knows, going with the J's. I like the red as well because it matches the generator, and we do have his little trailer, so what we might do is we might hook him up. If I pop that there, that'll get that out of the way. Might help him. We'll go for a red, good contrasting colour there. There is a drawbar somewhere. I will find that as well. I did have a really good look for it in the garage, but I could not find it for love nor money. But it will be there. I do love these. You know, there has to be said something about this crane. It's probably one of the best pieces, other than the crates, to come out of Games Workshop. It is such a cool kit, and I've seen loads of people use Imperial Guards or Astra Militarum Chimeras and took the bit off the back and then just cut this off and plonked it at the back. I mean, that has got to be on my to-do list to do that. It is so cool, and when you look at this, it just fits beautifully. I mean, you probably know this kit anyway, to be fair, but it just fits beautifully on there. I mean, it is such an amazing, clever kit, unreal. Absolutely love it. Does make a hell of a difference that there. It's looking quite good. I just moved the camera quickly so you can see kind of that angle. There is a lovely line of sight down along here. You know, I know Boris has got access to quite a few heavy weapons, so not to kind of cheat a little bit, but we don't want to turkey shoot, as you guys say. So we might pop that there. I just want to obscure a little bit of line of sight, but also there's this massive gap here as well, so I want to try and do something about that. I might come back to that. What should we do here? I might just pop that in there, just help fortify that a little bit. All right, I'm going to come back with some aggregate. Just one thing before I get onto the aggregate. A really good way of hiding this line here is obviously first to reinforce the board so your table doesn't sag. That's an obvious. But what we're going to do is we're just going to put this pipe section along here. It kind of helps to reinforce the industrial nature of this part, perhaps. And it fits beautifully within the confines of the board. So I kind of like that. It does hide it a little bit. I will put some stone and rock over it just to kind of help blend it a little bit more, but it works really well, I think. All right, I'm back. I've got some slate here, so I'm just going to put it around this. Oh, that messed that up completely, didn't it? There we go. That helps. Nothing too crazy. I've got some larger pieces of aquarium stuff here as well, just to kind of break it up a little bit. I don't want to go too mad with it though, but just helps. Blend that in a little bit more. Yeah, that's fine. This side I'm not too worried about. It's actually way better. It matches up. There's still probably a 4 or 5 mil gap, whereas here it was huge, but it's not too bad. Might just quickly reinforce this piece along here, just to help. Yeah. I mean, it's so effective. Obviously at home you might not have to worry and contend with the warped boards, but I do, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's blend that in lovely. I'll get a photo of that and show you in a bit. So I think that's all of the rock and stone I'm going to use. Next, I've just got a ton of pallets and crates. You know, you've seen this all before in Zone Mortalis, so I'm just going to load these up. I love this old set from the Battlefield Accessory Sprue. It's so good. And we use some green ones. I'm using green a lot more because obviously we've got red and yellow of the armies, and green works quite well with both of those. Yeah, let's put it like that. Cool. I might just put one over here just as a bit of additional cover. We'll use some. Well, again, I think we're going to go with the green again. We'll use barrels this time rather than the kind of the stacks and stuff. The crates, sorry. I don't know what to call these, tubes. I mean, I guess they are crates as well, but they're tubular, so I think they have like a different name. Or maybe I'm just making that up. I have no idea. Barrels. So many bits in this box. Got loads. Cool. I'm gonna add another one in there. Jenga, love it. Do you know what? I think we're there. I think it doesn't need to be much more complicated than that. The only thing I'm gonna do is quickly, I'll move the camera and show you what I'm doing. Just over this side by the warehouse, we're just going to do exactly the same that we've done throughout the board, just so it matches. We've got some small bits of slate, and again around this crater here, and we're just trying to help blend it all in together so it's all the same. Nothing crazy on this board, probably a bit too much. Okay, we can pull it back. There we go. Then exactly the same, just along the edge. The municipal services clearly aren't doing their job by cleaning the streets up, are they? But I don't know. I can kind of imagine like a Wall-E character cleaning the streets up. I don't know. It's been a long day. That's it. Oh, just drop that barrel off. A few more little bits just around these generator pieces, or the extraction fans rather. I think I need to sit down and work out exactly what to call what, because I think I call it a different name every video, which for a person that likes consistency, that's not very consistent. So I do apologise. All right, I think that is it. There it is, finished. I think it's a really cool board. We've covered up some mistakes with the alignment of the boards quite nicely. I think it works pretty well, and I think once there's 2,000 points of models on this board, you probably won't see it. So I'm quite happy. There is a ton of cover on this board. I think the infantry are going to have to work really, really hard to get a target on each other. I think one side perhaps favours the Imperial Fist if they bring lots of heavy weapons to the table. I don't know. As always, I build the boards prior to the battle. I haven't even finalised my list yet, and Boris is working on his as we speak. So he sent me a message just before I started filming this. So I hope you found it interesting. You know how I build boards now, so I probably don't need to go through it all every time. But I think it's just a nice little extra video just to kind of keep the content up and maybe inspire you guys to build your own kind of freeform board. Who knows? Or live battlefield. I think that was the term I keyed a few episodes ago. All right, I'm going to take a ton of photos. I'll do a quick walk around with the camera so you can see all into the nooks and crannies and the line of sight and the cover. And we'll go and watch the game between Boris and I, Fall of the Ayenbite. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.